Hi, how are you? My name is Houston and welcome back to another video. Every person that's older than you always tells you that life just keeps going faster and faster. But I think like mid to late 20s is when I really started to notice it. I mean, you can obviously notice it a lot sooner, but being bound to a certain routine and never injecting any sort of disruption to it is truly what makes life go by fast. As a routine guy myself, and as somebody that swears by it and loves it and thinks that every single person should have some form of routine, however fluid and dynamic that thing might be to an extent, there is a part of me that is very aware of the fact that I am maybe a little bit too tightly bound to that routine. For me, one of the big things about practicing mindfulness is realizing when that routine seems to take over my life. Not that it's always a bad thing, but I think that when you go to work, you exercise, or you go to work, you come home, sit on the couch, watch Netflix, do whatever, there can be a point, or there should be a point, I hope there's a point, where you realize, damn, what the hell am I doing? And that's not what I think, because that's not what I do. But before I do that, let's get into some more Kazan and just keep yapping away. So I have my routine, right? And I think I'm pretty damn good at it. I'm good at sticking to it, maybe a little bit too good at it. I think that my girlfriend would probably support that. But when you get into it and you're actually getting things done, it feels amazing. It feels so good. So why wouldn't you just want to keep on doing that thing or those things? I don't think that I'm missing out on life with my routine, but I do find myself, I guess, not getting burnt out. I'm trying to explore this live here instead of like, rehearse it beforehand. But I don't really take a lot of vacations. And I think that that is a pretty big problem. Like, I'm always doing something at work, or like I'm sort of, I guess, when I do have time off, I just kind of want to sit right here. At least that's how I feel in the moment. But I need to be better at realizing that the experiences that I could have with that time off, and obviously there's a money component to this too, like anybody who wants to travel more, you need money. Well, you don't need money, but you probably want money if you don't want to be in like endless credit card debt, which I'm pretty sure I know a bunch of people that are. But yeah, it'd be great to go to Hawaii. It'd be great to go back to Japan, or I'd love to go to China. I want to go to like Egypt. I want to go to Greece. I want to go to Rome. All these places that have so much history. Like, I want to go to Peru to see Machu Picchu. I want to see Chichen Itza in Mexico. But anyway, so yeah, there are all these places that I want to go. But even though I'm tired from work, it might be hard for me to work up the energy to plan these things and to actually go and do them. You don't always have to fly somewhere or go on this super expensive trip. And I think that those are the vacations that I'm talking about. I'm not talking about like small breaks in the routine, like, oh, maybe going and trying a restaurant that you've been thinking of, which you should do. Going to see a movie. Just going to do like smaller activities. Something to remember is that not every break has to be this grand escape. Like, my girlfriend and I, we love to try new restaurants. I mean, who doesn't, right? But personally, I like going somewhere where I don't look at the menu first, because then it's a real surprise for me when I actually look at it and I'm kind of forced to choose something rather than figuring out all my decisions before I go, and then I just go there and I feel like it's taking away from the experience for me. Something that I do every once in a while is I sort of like look back and review what I've been doing. So I'll think to myself, okay, how have I been spending my time? Like, has the past 3 months been a blur to me. Can I even like remember anything? Like, you have so many cases where you can't even remember like what you had for dinner a couple nights ago, or what you had for breakfast, or whatever. That seems concerning. And you might be like me and think to yourself, damn, I can't even remember what I had for dinner a couple nights ago. Am I going crazy? Do I have dementia? But no, it's probably just the fact that you are so bound up in doing the same exact thing. Your brain is like an optimization machine, right? It's the less you have to think about certain things, the less it is going to think about them, as far as I know, at least. I don't know how long my camera was black for, but hey, we're back. Optimization kind of implies like positivity, but it's probably more accurate to say that the brain just kind of does whatever evolution has taught it to do, which is like conserve resources, basically. So if you don't have to think about all the things you've been doing because you do the same thing every single day, then that information is just not going to get stored in your brain, which makes sense, even though it does make you seem like you might have dementia. Speaking of your brain storing things, it's so funny how your brain will like store boss move sets in it. See, now I have to lock in because this boss is forcing me to just memorize his move set all over again, and that makes it very difficult for me to talk about what I want to talk about. Alongside like my traditional journaling, I really love to keep, at least lately, I really love to keep a like pocket journal or a field notes journal. I normally keep it in my work vest, and while I should be better about bringing it back inside when I'm done with work, I normally just like leave it in the trunk of my car. But yeah, that thing has been really instrumental for me to remember all the small things throughout the day. And it's nice just like looking back and seeing like, oh, that's a really nice thing that I heard on, you know, April 10th. Oh my god. Oh, that's so annoying. I really hope that I never have to fight another boss with that moveset ever again. It's really not even that difficult. It's just annoying, which is, you know, the essence of like every dumb Souls-like boss. The problem with like journaling those, like telling somebody to journal, it's like, yeah, it might be good for you from a remembering the routine or remembering like how your life is unfolding perspective. For a lot of people, myself included, because I don't do it every day, and I'm not going to lie to you and say that I open up that booklet every single day, every night, every morning, whatever, and I never miss a day, because there are days that I miss all the time, and that's life. You got to be okay with that. You gotta live in that. It'll be okay. But a lot of people will be like, well, dude, I don't have time for that. That's just another thing that I have to try and do. And for me, honestly, dude, I will write like 2 or 3 lines sometimes. Just like kind of what I'm thinking. Like, what did I write the other day? The other day, I was listening to a podcast about like 3 types of conversations. And it's like, they're like vaults, like bank vaults, basically. First vault, second vault, third vault conversations. The first vault is facts. It's when you're talking to somebody and you're just saying facts about yourself. Like, this is very surface level stuff. The second vault is stories. So like another level up, you start telling stories back and forth and relating to each other in that way. And then the third vault is when we put our essence on display, or our soul, if you will. We put our heart out there and we show who we really are. Like, we start to demonstrate our character. We start to tell this other person or these people about the type of person that we are, and maybe even the type of person that we want to be. So all I wrote was first vault, second vault, third vault, and then I wrote what each one was in the journal. It was actually in my field notebook, the little guy that I keep in my work vest. So yeah, it doesn't always have to be this giant like A to Z routine plan for like the next day or the next week, like a planner or like some class synopsis or syllabus, not synopsis, syllabus. And speaking of that, one thing that I've been thinking about a lot and I still don't really have like a full answer for it, is this idea that every single person has wisdom to share in some range, some value. And when you have that wisdom to share, there's also an origin story to that wisdom. I've just been trying to think, like, what is my wisdom and what is the origin? Is the wisdom that I can share is that you should be kind to yourself? Maybe I'm kind of floating that one, because, you know, being strong and being kind to yourself, those are two things that a lot of people see as maybe like conflicting ideas sometimes. Maybe my wisdom is telling people that, and this kind of has to do with the routine thing, you might live inside a story and be born into a story, but that doesn't mean that you can't help shape it in certain ways and you can't change it. And one thing that is very important with that is that you can teach other people how to write better stories for themselves too. The power of the internet and the power of things like this is that you have a voice, and your voice can matter a lot. And it doesn't matter if you're speaking to 10 people, 1,000 people, 1,000,000 people, because in each moment of your life, you have the ability to affect change on others. You have that ability to help somebody change their story and not just live inside of it themselves. I like to think that I'm doing my part as best as I can to help other people. You have time to find that wisdom, to cultivate that wisdom, and then when you do find it, to share it with the world. And I think that that is one of, I mean, that has to be like one of the main purposes of life, to not become smarter, but become wise and then teach the people before you. And, you know, I'll be the first younger person to say that when I was even younger than I am now, I didn't want to hear what any person older than me had to say. I would be like, maybe what you're thinking right now, like, all right, buddy, shut up, old guy. But you never know, because out of the 10 people, 9 of them might think that way, but maybe one will be like, you know what? I can change the direction that I'm heading. It doesn't have to be the way that it's always been. So this video did start out just talking about routines, right? But you can insert that practice of thinking about your actions, that mindfulness, that chase for knowledge and wisdom, and just the cultivation of all things good in life into your routines. And the beauty of something like mindfulness in any capacity throughout your life, being part of your routine or just being a habit, is that you are more likely to notice all of the little beautiful things in life if mindfulness is part of your routine. And you're probably more likely to notice when your routine is actually tripping you up and when you need to do like an audit of some sort. More than the journaling, the field notes, all that stuff, mindfulness is the thing that I think can have the ability to truly change somebody's life. And, you know, I'm sure there are plenty of people out there that have tried to meditate and it just didn't work for them, which is totally understandable. But there are so many different ways to meditate, to be mindful. And honestly, you don't even have to really link it to traditional mindfulness. You can just link it to something as simple as watching your thoughts, just watching the way that you will react in certain situations, and just watching your thoughts, seeing what they do. Oh, you have a thought about something? Try and pay attention to it. Try and keep that thought. It's probably gone. I know that I'm probably giving a little bit too much to think about, but maybe it's time for an audit on your routine if you have one. Or maybe it's time to finally figure out a routine that works for you, that's sustainable, right? Something that you can do that allows you to not just do the same things every day and to get better at things, but just grow as a person, improve your character, things that supplement your life, not constrain it. And speaking of routines, I have to go to the gym. So I'm wearing a shirt that is much different from a shirt that I'm normally wearing, because this is one of my running shirts. But yeah, a little treadmill run today because the rain is coming down outside, and maybe it'd make me a stronger person if I ran in the rain. But I've been befriending the treadmill. As always, thank you. I appreciate you. Going into a new month, do your best. Try to be kind to people, especially the ones that annoy you the most. I kind of reminded myself of that one, especially right now with some stuff that's going on at work. Thank you so much, and I'll see you on the next one.